G'day guys, welcome back to the Fon Supercoach YouTube channel. Today we are doing our round one review. Shocking score for me, 2,238, which has given me a season rank of 53,285. It is only round one. You do like to start further ahead, and there is a little bit of work to do with my team. But alas, it is only round one. I've had top 500 results with poor round one ranks before, so it's nothing new for me, unfortunately. But yeah, we're going to get into the reviews really quickly. I'm just going to go through every game and discuss the players. So starting with the Richmond v Carlton game. Carlton just escaping by the 4 points. I think probably the starting point here, is it worth discussing Jagger? I'm not sure. But yeah, just make sure you've got Jagger on field each week. He will obviously score very well. Walsh is probably the main talking point from this one. Some shocking clangers late that really killed this score. I do think Walsh was pretty good. The roll is still really nice. 87, I think it was 87% CBAs. Yeah, 87%, which is a lot of CBAs, particularly in the modern game where teams are going away from those types of CBA numbers. So yeah, I think he's totally fine. If you have Walsh, I wouldn't be concerned at all. And then I guess the next one, is there anyone else worth discussing? I guess Florent, if you have him for whatever reason, reasonable game. Not setting the world alight, but still not a bad game. Lord, I think you want a little bit more based on what Lord's priced at. But yeah, low tackle game, only the 2. I still think the role isn't great for Cooper Lord if you have him, so probably not for me personally. And if you've got Dean, I would look to downgrade him to another rookie. Just doesn't get enough of the ball. The Richmond side is relatively irrelevant. So the only player I'm going to talk about here is Grill, who was excellent. Got benched at the end of the game, which is why the scaling is really far down. I had Grill on the bench, so I was kind of okay with that. Didn't get punished too hard for the rookie roulette there. But yeah, he's really good. If you don't have him, I would suggest getting him in. I think he makes more than 150k. There were points in this game where Richmond had really stagnated, and the guy who was giving them the drive off halfback was Sam Grill. So yeah, I was really impressed with his game and think he will be a good rookie for us. Gibcus 56, yeah, you take that and run. He's probably going to be a bit of a slow burn, so getting a nice score early is always good. All right, let's get into the next game, which was the Bombers versus the Hawks. Zach Merritt was an interesting one. 68% CBAs, which is not bad at all. I can't quite recall where he was when he wasn't in the centre bounces, but yeah, he was really good. Obviously kicked the 1 goal, 32 touches, 139 Supercoach, in an Essendon side that was relatively poor, particularly by foot, I thought. He was one of the best. This Redmond score is 100% disposal efficiency, so don't go correcting into Mason Redmond if you've got players you're getting rid of. Parrish 93, absolutely take that to the bank. Didn't think he was particularly good either, so pretty happy with that 93. Caldwell, if you had him, you are probably spewing. I think he had 6 clangers in the first quarter, I want to say, but kicked the ball really poorly, so tough score there. Dyson Sharp, 57. I want to talk about this one because he kicked 2 goals for a 57 and had 6 touches, which means without those goals, this is probably looking at a 30. I have been concerned about Sharp's job security the whole preseason. That he's playing pure half forward. Gresham had a good game in the VFL. I think he kicked 3. And Isaac Kako is coming back from injury this week. I'm not sure he holds his job, which is a little bit of a concern. But yeah, the scoring power just isn't there. I think he needs to be in the midfield. Obviously, he's going to get better with every game, but the role is really quite bad, and the time on ground is very low as well with a 58. If you had Archie Roberts, you would probably be spewing. Was glued to the bench for pretty much the whole game. So yeah, that's probably very unfortunate. And I don't think any of these... Nguyen is 160k, but just playing pure lockdown pretty much. And then on the Hawks side, I thought Sicily was excellent. And I am a little bit tempted by Mr. LeBron James Sicily, who he's got all of his power back. His groins are working. He's kicking the ball really well, which I just like to see as an enjoyer of football. But yeah, he was really good. And then, I should have spoken about Blackiston. So Blackiston is one of the mid prices that I didn't end up having. I guess I should actually show the team really quickly. This is the team. I'll talk about it at the end. So a couple of issues, like some really poor scoring premiums, and obviously the captaincy on Butters, which was a big problem for me, and then the fielding of Philippo over Robertson. Not great, but it is what it is. Anyway, back to the reviews. So Blackiston was one that I faded with concerns of his scoring ability. He's priced at 56, I believe, so 6 points of upside is a very, very poor return. He has a good fixture next week, so I'd probably hold him for that. But afterwards, I think he is a correctional trade, unfortunately. This matchup with Reeves and Meek is not a good one. Reeves has typically been restrictive in the past. I wouldn't say Reeves is an elite ruckman, but he has been restrictive before. And yeah, Blackiston just could not get access to the ball enough. So yeah, he was unable to score. Also gave away a heap of free kicks. Back here. So Ned Reeves. So Reeves and Meek for pretty much the whole game. Where's Meek? So pretty much the whole game, they were subbing on and off for each other, where there was a little bit at the end where they were both on the ground. So that is Reeves is 240k. I don't think with the time on ground you can go there. This is obviously a soft matchup, the Essendon Ruck matchup. So yeah, that's why Reeves scored very well. That is not for me. And then Connor McDonald, 103. You'd be pretty happy with that, but he's not going to kick 2 goals every week. So yeah, I'm still happy to fade this based on that. But if you did pick, it's a great result. Who else? Is there anyone else relevant here? Sam Butler, yeah. If you went Butler, that's pretty tough at 200k with a 30. So yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the Bulldogs and the Giants. So I was really shocked by this. I thought the Giants would be a lot better. But the Dogs look like being the real deal this year. I know we say that a reasonable amount about the Dogs, but teams with elite midfields that are highly skilled and fast seem to be doing a lot of damage, particularly off halfback as well. And that suits the Dogs to a T. And then the Bont was really good, 160. I think if you were going to start like one of the captain's options with the buy, so like Bont or Anderson or Dacos, Bont was probably your guy. 700k is a lot to pay, but the early run is quite good. And it is still very possible for him to hurt non-owners by scoring these types of scores regularly. Like 33 and 3, that is a massive return. So obviously not going to go this well every week, but next week against Adelaide, he probably will go that well again. English, 127. I thought English was really good. Still able to find the ball, which a lot of rucks I thought struggled with this weekend. A lot of that is just because the AFL at the start of the season is a lot faster. There's less stoppages generally. But also I do think the new rules are contributing to that. So yeah, English still able to find the ball. Plenty of hit-outs to advantage. Was pretty happy with him. Libba, another good score, but too old for mine. I don't know if many will have Darcy, but he is going to kick a lot of goals this year, I think. And I think he'll probably be a top 6 forward again. Ed Richards was one. So I had Dawson, and I was deciding between Richards and Clark who to go with. I was fist pumping after this result from Ed Richards, which I was quickly taking back as I started watching the Geelong Freo game. So we'll talk about that in a second. Richards, I think the problem for Richards was... So Richards was on the bench for a lot of the fourth quarter, which probably hurt his scoring a little bit, maybe 5 to 10 points. But Bont, Libba, and Kennedy just went massive this game. Like all the Dogs players can't always score. And this was the Bont show today. So I still think Richards will be a really good pick. I'm a big believer in Ed Richards as a footballer. So I wouldn't worry if you have Richards. Jakes was awesome, had 29, which I didn't realise watching it, but he was terrific. Getting back on defence, getting involved in the junk transition type points. He was terrific. Raptor had him on field. Didn't have him on field on fantasy, which is a little bit of a stinker, but that's all good. Connor Budrick, 73 Supercoach, 87 AFL fantasy. Got involved more later on in the game when the game was done, hence why this website shows the scaling, so -9. that's why that is. This is typically a bad matchup for defenders, the Giants. So I'm pretty happy with this. He's priced at 50 or 46, giving me 27 points of upside on this. So yeah, really happy, especially the ratio's not in his favor this week, but hopefully will be in weeks going forward. Don't think anyone's on Frazier, but yeah, the role just is not good. Hines, if you had Hines, 160k for this is probably not great. And then Selwood, I'm a Selwood owner, not wrapped with this 38. Because like 7 marks for 38 is pretty bad. The fantasy is obviously quite low. No tackles this week. 2 frees against. Yeah, I don't know. I switched Carroll to Selwood before the start of the round, which I'm sort of regretting, but I thought Carroll wasn't that good today. So we'll talk about that in the Saints game. So we'll see how that one goes. And then Lewis, I think he will be out of the side next week for, what's the guy's name? Croft. And then the Giants side. So Ash was at his junking best with the 13 marks. Just got a lot more involved than Whitfield today. Also taking a lot of kickouts. Just kicking it long or kicking it sideways. Like this is a quintessential Lockie Ash game. Not a heap of damage, but you don't have to do damage to score sometimes. Finn Callahan was really good. So he was someone who I was keen on at the start of the season. Still very keen to get a hold of Finn Callahan once upgrade season begins. And then Fonte, for those who own Fonte, he was quite good again. But yeah, another high disposal efficiency game and a couple of like these marks that fell in his lap. So as a non-owner, I'm not concerned at this stage. But obviously if the scores keep happening, then it's going to be a problem for me. And then Whitfield, I know there are going to be some concerned about Whitfield. I wouldn't worry at all. The disposal efficiency being 80% all happened at the start of the game where his teammates were like dropping marks and fumbling the ball and doing silly stuff. So that's why some of these kicks were ruled ineffective, which meant that Whitfield had a lower score. Normally this probably would have been about a 95 or whatnot, so which would have been a lot better, but unfortunately didn't roll that way for us this week. And then Oliver, I've been saying it all preseason, he does not have the power back. He doesn't look as fit as he used to, and that eventuated in this game against a good midfield. So if you have Oliver, I think you need to move him on. Toby Green had 12 clangers, so you'd be spewing if you had him. I don't think this is a disastrous pick, I'm going to be honest. Like, 12 clangers is 48 points lost. So, you take half of those 24, you've got an 86. It's not too bad. But yeah, that would have been a tough watch if you were an owner. Cogs is playing all forward time, so I think you want to move out of this pick next week after a price rise if you own. Gothard, 46 this week. They're a better small forward type rookies in my opinion. And then Rouston was poor again, so if you have him, you're going to have to jump off. And Delano just doesn't get enough of the footy to be a good pick in my opinion. So let's get on to the Cats Dockers game where my Saturday became a very tough watch. So I'll start with the Cats. Max Holmes is like full centre bounce midfielder, 82%, taking bulk kick-ins. Okay, when I say bulk kick-ins, I only mean 3, but that's a very attractive role. And that is something I have my eyes on. Obviously, a lot of tackles, a lot of marks. Low clanger. Normally, you probably have 3 or 4. But yeah, I'm pretty scared of not owning Holmes. And I do have a plan to get him in. So we'll talk about that later. And then Tom Stewart. Where was this last season, Tom? What happened? Obviously, he got injured. But 10 marks. Getting involved in lots of junk. Terrific player when he's up and about, Tom Stewart. So he was very good. And someone who I am, once again, very tempted by. Baz back to his best this week as well after a slow start last week. Tanner Bruhn was the mid-pricer of all of them, the pick of the bunch, if you will. 110 in very low 63 TOG. He was terrific, not much more to say. If you didn't have him, I would suggest getting him in. If you have like a Windsor or a Lindsay instead, even potentially Hayden Young, I would go there instead of Tanner Bruhn. I think it's worth the trade. He was absolutely terrific, Tanner Bruhn. Is there anyone else here? I feel like there's a rookie. I think Jai Clark is rookie price, but I don't really want to discuss that. I also think O'Shane Mullen was tagging Brayshaw a little bit, which is why Brayshaw's score was at 47. But what I will say is Fremantle do not have the game plan to score Supercoach points. Now, obviously, there's a 150 here from Sarong and a 142 from Luke Jackson. I think Jackson is the exception to this. However, this is like a really, really, really good matchup for Luke Jackson where the Geelong midfield is not strong and they are probably one of the easiest rucks. Like Geelong rucks and West Coast rucks are the easiest to score against. Mitch Edwards is the rookie that I missed, the ruck. He looks too raw. I don't think he's going to play much more this season, to be honest. But yeah, Jackson feasted on him. Sarong scored 80 points in the second quarter. So it was in the fourth quarter. He was just immense in the fourth quarter. Let's grab his stats. Can I get Q4 stats? Is there a way? Here we go. No? That's just the heat map. Okay. I need to learn how to use this website better. This website's terrific. But basically, he had like 7 contested out of 12 possessions, high disposal efficiency, a couple score involvements. Like he was exceptional in the last quarter. But yeah, I am still very scared of this pick because Fremantle cannot score Supercoach points. What do I mean by that? So the Fremantle game plan spends virtually no time controlling the football. It's also not really a high stoppage game plan. Which means that there's less opportunity for contest points and there is less opportunity for transition points, which means there's just less opportunity to score points for Fremantle. We saw that in the second half of last season. I saw nothing to suggest that would change, which is why I'm not jumping to get Sarong. I still think Jackson is a pick that I still don't think he'll be a top 3 or 4 ruck, which might seem crazy given he's given us 125 AFL fantasy this week, but he's not really going to go for 27 and 9 hit-outs to advantage and a goal too often. Like, this feels like a ceiling score in this role. That being said, Sean Darcy looked absolutely dreadful in this game. Super unfit. And if Mason Cox plays, I can't imagine he's going to chew up a huge amount of ruck time. If Luke Jackson is ever solo ruck for a 6-week period, I am going there, undoubtedly. Provided I obviously have that information. So yeah, just one to watch on Luke Jackson. If you started, you'd be wrapped with this score, 142. You probably saw exactly what you wanted to see, where the midfield role was quite good, and then it was still a large portion it was more than 50% of the ruck contest still. So, yeah, Jackson was pretty good. Murphy Reid, I don't know if anyone would have gone there, but I think he's going to suffer from the game plan that is not good for Supercoach scoring. Hayden Young was on 95 at 3-quarter time, and then was parked forward for the whole fourth quarter. Fremantle could not move the ball. Now, I presume this was a management thing. I would hope it is, because otherwise Longmuir absolutely sold this game. Young was taking the absolute piss in the first 3 quarters. Everything he was kicking turned to a score, it felt like, whether it was direct involvement via a score assist or just generally getting it to the next player in the chain. It was a high contested rate, so 7 contested from 16 disposals is very good. And also kicked the goal. Had a hit out to advantage as well, which was pretty funny. So yeah, Young was really good. I'm not panicked at this stage, but would want a better score next week. And I'd be interested to see the forward time as well. Like, he might get forward status and be a keeper there. So yeah, Young was a bit disappointing, but not panic stations. And then Jordan Clark, this pick has really annoyed me. So the reason I picked Jordan Clark, I knew this Fremantle game plan was going to be bad for Supercoach scoring. But the reason I picked Jordan Clark was no Luke Ryan, good early fixture. The Cats were one of those good early fixtures. Now, the reason halfbacks score well against Geelong, because the way to get them is just with overlap handballs across halfback. That's typically how teams have got it. They're not bullying them at the contest. They're generally not bullying them aerially. But yeah, Fremantle, they don't do that. There's no change of direction. There's no like 45-meter inside kicks. It's just get the ball, go around the boundary line. Like, they don't use the corridor at all pretty much. And then it's just kick long to contest where they're trying to either isolate their key forwards in one-on-ones and just have them win that way, or try and get a stoppage type thing. But again, they're low stoppage. So And Clark just like was getting bullied from kick-ins. Like Carl Warner was taking kick-ins over him. Like obviously he had 6 out of 14, which is a lot, but still I was expecting this to honestly be 80% plus. Chapman was coming down from the wing to take kick-ins. Warner bullied him off 3. Like he was all 3 of these kicks. Clark was in the goal square. So it was making me sick, to be honest. Obviously, kick-ins are a cheap way of scoring, but that is part of the game, and that was what I anticipated. So Clark's got one more week for me. I think he'll score well against Melbourne this week, but I will be moving him on after this. I don't want anything to do with the Fremantle game plan. Brayshaw I spoke about, tagged a little bit, but yeah, the game plan is just dreadful for Supercoach scoring. Sydney v Brisbane. So, unfortunately, the big talking point from this game is Errol Goulden getting injured. He dislocated his shoulder, and I've just realised that you guys cannot see the whole screen. Let me fix that. There we go. Should be a bit better. All right, so Errol Goulden, injured shoulder. Looks like it's going to be a trade out. I presume that they will go for surgery to try and get his shoulder right. And they're flying at the moment. Like, they're going to be okay. But yeah, that makes him a trade out for me, which is a shame because he was very much looking like being a guaranteed top 8 mid. So absolutely gutted about that. Is what it is. He was exceptional when he was playing. High tackles, high marks, like good usage. Quintessential Errol Goulden game. Blakey was really good. I know Blakey has some ownership. And yeah, he was exceptional tonight. Even kicked a snag. Teams that let Blakey run around on his own are going to pay the price. And yeah, he had a high disposal efficiency game. Blakey does drop the odd stinker in, but he certainly has scoring power. So yeah, he was really nice. I'm not talking about any of these guys. McCartan had a career high 27. So the Swans junked it up a fair bit in defence. Not like the Collingwood marks from last week, but they did junk it up quite a bit. Mills went 100. I think Mills is playing a little bit too accountable for me. Like he was on Rayner most of the game, but Rayner was largely irrelevant in this game. But yeah, Mills was pretty good. Heaney has a hamstring complaint, so that's why his time on ground is really low, but he was going quite well before the complaint as well. It sounds like he's going to miss this week. If you do have Heaney, it's likely just a 1 weeker. I think you just hold this week, carry him through his bye, and get him on the park next week against West Coast. Sheldrick was much better this game, but still the disposal efficiency is very low. I don't think he's going to have 25 every week, so I would be a little bit concerned about this pick, but you can hold for another game. He should get a price rise. Sarong was good this week. Again, like wings can have these sorts of games where they get involved, but it's low scoring because generally it's a lot of uncontested sort of stuff. Whereas last week he had a lot of contested possessions. A couple clangers, not ideal, but he's going all right. He's going to make good cash for us. Rosas is quiet, but kicked another goal. That's all you can ask for. He's ticking along nicely. Should still make you the required amount of cash. And just on the James Jordan note, there was no tag this week. So I thought that was interesting. I thought he might go to Zorko. Speaking of, Zorko was good. 30 touches, lowish disposal efficiency. Zorko generally scores really well in wins and struggles in these sort of big losses. Not that there are many of them for Brisbane. But yeah, wouldn't be going here, 37-year-old. Yeah, that screams trouble. Oh, I didn't talk about Grundy. Yeah, so Grundy, 9 hit-outs to advantage, but just like can't rack the ball up. And I think ruck disposals, we'll talk about Cherry soon as well, but I think ruck disposals are going to go down. Guys like English are still going to accumulate. I think Grundy will typically have more than this. But yeah, he's just struggling to get the ball as much as all rucks are because the stoppages are more open and there's less repeat stoppages at centre bounce as well, it feels like, because the rucks are jumping and hitting the ball to more space. That being said, Fort was quite good, but he's got 3 frees 4 and 18 touches. Like I don't know how he accumulated these many disposals. It's very unusual. And then Neil, 93, you'd want a bit more, I think, if you were paying for Lockie Neal, but like low tackles, low marks. So that is what it is. I don't think... Oh, Zach Kostelski. So Zach Kostelski played in defence, and I actually thought he was pretty good. So I think he'll hold his spot next week when Gardner comes back. And then I think he'll get 2 price rises until Harris Andrews comes back. And then We can maybe hold him for another game. I'm not sure. Draper looked quite underdone, so I don't know. Maybe there's a chance he plays another game in a row. I don't know. He's been pretty good, so that was good to see. Got involved in a bit of the chip mark in defense. Actually defended okay. Like, he didn't have Kerno for a lot of the game, but he wasn't embarrassed by any stretch of the imagination. Let's just keep going down. Oh, Kadeen Coleman, 50. Yeah, just doesn't look fit enough at the moment for mine. And not getting enough ball with the low contested rate. And then Annabelle, probably not an option for us this year. And as I said, Draper looked pretty underdone. Might be a downgrade option later because he has forward status, but at this stage I'm not holding my breath for Draper. All right, Crows versus Pies. So probably the big talking point from this game for me is Houston has had another massive game, getting heaps of usage, which shouldn't surprise anyone, but it also may based on last season. I think I'm going to try and get Houston from Jordan Clark. But I have to do some working out on that one because he has the bye this week, which is frustrating. Obviously, I'm going to hold Clark another week, but it's not ideal. And then Dacos was really good. Kick the 2. One of these was late, so it was a bit junky, but yeah, I don't know. He just gets it done. It's that simple. He is very uncontested at the moment, but I presume that'll change. So Cameron had 20. I didn't realize that. Maybe my ruck disposals statistics is a little bit off. But yeah, Cameron's a really good ruckman. But yeah, I think ruck scoring is on the decline a little bit. Obviously, the disposal efficiency isn't great, but yeah, I don't know. I think ruck scoring is actually on the decline. And then Dacos, Josh, was quite good. But yeah, he is almost entirely uncontested, which creates these ratio games where he needs 30 to ton. Didn't get 30 this week, so no ton. I thought there was going to be a Perryman tag on Dawson this week, but it didn't eventuate. Dawson didn't go too crazy anyway, but I thought that was interesting. The track watcher got it wrong. DeGoey, I honestly did not notice DeGoey much at all in this game, but I've been quite against this pick for the whole of the preseason. I think this is one you can jump off of. The rookies are scoring enough. They're actually okay. So I think we can start going one up, one down with these mid prices in the early couple of rounds. And then on the Crows side, so the Crows had a spare behind the ball pretty much all game, which allowed Miller and Worrell to score quite heavily. I'm not sure that this is consistent. I will admit that Worrell is quite tempting for me. I don't know if they've given Miller the keys, but like 34 is a lot. I need to have a look at the other games. I think trading for Miller is point chasing. If I'm going to be totally honest, like I don't know what the price is. Yeah, 430. It's a lot to pay for someone who's got very poor injury history. Yeah, but the Pies allowed an extra behind the ball, which allowed Worrell and Miller to junk it up a bit, and Worrell to take a few intercept marks. Two very good players when up and about, so they were great for the Crows. Braden Cook, another rookie that I don't have with a 92. Not going to go early on Cook because I'm still a little bit concerned about his job security. I think only a couple of bad games and Chase Jones does overtake him, but a great game this week. Really keen to see him back it up next week, and I'll be trying to get on him. Dawson was sort of average, I guess. Only 21 disposals. You would want a bit more from Dawson if you had him. Not going to say I dodged a bullet because my alternative scored 16 points less, but I should be able to get Dawson a bit cheaper after the Geelong matchup at the very least. McAndrew was really good. Scored the 88, had 9 hitouts to advantage. The tall, long arm ruckmen are getting a lot of hitouts to advantage. Reeves did as well. So, yeah, he was excellent. Really happy to have this on field. Rochelle, 88, some poor disposal efficiency. He was really good, though. I don't know that this role holds when Rankin is back. Where are we? 52%. Like, I just can't see that holding. That being said, like, Phil Thorpe had 15% CBAs as a rover. Saligo is quite underdone, so Yeah, I don't know. This is not for me, but you'd be pretty happy with this, I think, if you owned him. I had him in fantasy, so I was pretty happy with this one. And then Laird, 25. My concern with Laird is that I don't think him getting lots of disposals is conclusive. Conducive. Is that the word? It doesn't result in Adelaide wins, is what I'm trying to say. So Laird's not an option for mine, but yeah, he was reasonably good. And Thilthorpe, 3 snags, just doing the business, giving Frampton a hard time. Hugh Bonds, 160k. Wouldn't be scrambling to get him in. And Toby Murray, I believe this is Toby. Yeah, Toby Murray with the 12. That's a disaster. So, yeah, really low time on ground. Probably don't want to have this pick on your bench. All right. Kangaroos v Port. Congratulations to North fans on the win. However, the big takeout from this game was that the Power are terrible. Without Butters, Rosie, and to be honest, Marshall, like outside of those guys, their kicking was really poor. Burgoyne was okay, but like not particularly damaging. But yeah, let's get into this game. So Parker's playing halfback. This is really reminiscent of Zeeble, if I'm going to be honest. But I'm just not. I'm just not jumping into this at 475. I just can't see it holding. Like it's confusing to me. So yeah, I don't know what to make of this. Obviously, Dylan Stephens has gone the 135 Supercoach and fantasy game. I presume that's never happened in Stephens' career before. There was a lot of uncontested. Like we got 11 marks here, 11, 8, 8. Like Port were really bad. Like their pressure was dreadful. So I think that's why a lot of these outside scores are inflated. Sheasel was part of that with a 134. He was really good, really high CBAs, which we love to see, 63%. So he was terrific. LDU, if you owned him, 104. Not a disaster. Probably would have liked him to cash in a little bit more in this game. Had the 6 clangers, but that was not too bad. I skipped over Cherry. So Cherry, 128. I think if you captain this, you'd be happy. As a non-owner, he's priced at 127, I think, in a cupcake matchup in Vicentini. I am not concerned at all. He's had 16 hitouts for the whole game, 10 tackles, which is going to be unsustainable, and 16 contested possessions. Like, I am pretty happy with this fade right now. I believe he has West Coast next week. So that's going to be very, very, very scary as a non-owner. But so far, so good on this fade, I think. And then Finn O'Sullivan tagged Butters, which, like, where did that come from? Like, this is a 19-year-old pick 2 who we have running around like in Zach Butters' pocket. Like, I don't know what the point of this was. It worked, in fairness. Well, it sort of worked. I mean, Butters was quelled quite a lot. No marks, evidence of that. But did kick 2 points. I don't know. I think this was fortunate that it worked out. Like, if the Power were any better, this would have been a little bit of a disaster, I think. But yeah, he was actually really good as a mid. I think he's 310. Yeah, 315. So that's not a bad score either for Finn O'Sullivan owners. So yeah, I think you take that. I'm not sure the scoring is going to be sustainable. It's quite hard for these second-year players. Like, we'll talk about Xavier Lindsay later. But yeah, this was a good score. So that was great. Then Blamires was really good, I thought, off halfback. Again, a lot of uncontested stuff, but for 99k, you don't care. If he's getting 20 touches, he's making cash. So he was really good. Definitely fieldable, I think. Would very happily take 70s. Do we have any? McKercher. So McKercher, it was rumoured that he would be playing like mid-forward and reduced minutes before the game. That did eventuate, so dodged a bullet here massively. I think if you do have McKercher, you hang on to him for a week against West Coast, and then you probably flip him to Dan Houston. That is my read on that one. And then Doveston, classic small forward. Got involved late, but the game was dead then, so the score is poor. And then Dersma, just struggles to get involved. And then on the Port side, so Rosie played primarily midfield, which is a little bit concerning because, so 57%. So Bergman was dreadful. Horn Francis was dreadful, but a little bit underdone. And then Watkins, like what is happening in Port's midfield? So they need Wines back. Drew was fine. Butters obviously high CBAs, but I want to see Rosie behind the ball, particularly for a weak power side. Only the one kick in. Like we want a bit more than that. We don't want Lockie Jones kick-ins. We want Connor Rosie kick-ins. So it's fine. You take the 105. It's not the end of the world. There was a horrible, horrible clanger in here as well. So would have been scaled down from that. And then Butters, as I said, tagged the whole game. I had the C on him. Feel like I've been robbed of like at least 40 points by this random tag, but that's life. That happens. No marks. Still used the ball. Not great. Did have a bunch of clearances, a bunch of contested possessions though, so salvaged the score. But yeah, it was a very nervous watch. And then Todd Marshall was excellent. Obviously the fantasy score isn't great, but it was lots of contested a couple of contested intercept marks, high ball usage, effectiveness, and kick-ins. So that was great to see. Hurt his ankle. Not sure what the go with that is. If that is a 1 to 2 week injury, I will be holding through 2 weeks. He's going to make bulk cash, and I don't want to trade him out and then back in. Dante Vicentini just can't score. He's priced too heavily. I would be moving out of this pick if I was an owner. Who do they have next week? Essendon, you can probably hold for a week. But yeah, I'm not loving this. And then Bergman was dreadful. The role just isn't that good. It's just not that good. Only 33% CBAs. It's tough. It didn't sound like it would be this throughout the preseason, but yeah, it's tough. And then Horn Francis, I think we're going to get as a forward at some point. So that'll be good. And then the Demons versus the Saints. Game of the round. I know I am biased, but it was good to see my boys move the ball well. And a very stressful game for me to watch. So yeah, that was good. So Max Gawn went absolutely bananas in the last quarter. Yeah, so 66. Okay, this is wrong. But he went nuts in the last quarter. Played literally 100% Tog in the last quarter and just dominated De Koning, who I think has a little bit of a fitness issue. And I don't mean that in terms of an injury. I just mean like aerobically. So yeah, it was great to see Max do his thing. Van Rooyen, not obviously Supercoach relevant, but the 6 snags was nice. Steele got to 92. Kicked a nice goal, but I think Melbourne, like Fremantle, have a very bad fantasy game plan. I presume, let's have a look at the fantasy scoring. Yeah, so 14-28. So really, really, really poor. What does that mean? It means these mid prices are scaring me. So, and I think Steele is a victim of that as well. It's basically low contested. How many ruck contests is this? Like 44, 64, like 69. So yeah, that's not great. I think it's reflecting on Pickett, who got enough of the ball and did enough, but had really poor disposal efficiency. But Windsor and Lindsay are the ones that I am concerned about. So Lindsay did take a lot of kick-ins, so took 30% of them. Salem did have the 10 though, which I wasn't expecting and was not reflective of the practice match. I will say I thought the Salem kick-ins were not generally very good. But Lindsay's generally weren't a heap better. So I am a little bit scared by that. There is also no chip mark at all. I thought we would try and change the angles more, but they're just going like so fast and like, I don't know. I guess the Saints defense wasn't great today either, but yeah, I don't know. I think I am a little bit scared about these picks, particularly when there are rookies who are outscoring them. That is alarm bells because you can put the points into premium, and a rookie is better than 2 mid prices that are scoring worse than your rookie anyway. So I'm going to look to get out of Lindsay this week. I think Windsor's role is a bit better. Had some shocking clangers. Could have probably kicked 3 goals. So I'm willing to give him another week. But we'll see. That could be a bad 50-50 at the end of the day. But yeah, Windsor started like a house on fire. Had the corked quad during the week, and I thought he looked a little bit hampered by that. He was struggling to cover the ground at times, which wasn't ideal. But I think they will all be a little bit better next week, having the extra run under their belt. But yeah, that was a little bit of a concern. I should probably mention Harry Sharp, big beneficiary of scaling. I think these numbers are quite wrong because there was some problem with the stats at the start of the game. But yeah, he was pretty pivotal in us holding on at the end of the game. So that's why this score is quite high. I don't think he's worth trading to. We'll see. Maybe he puts up another big one next week and he might be an option. Latrell was very exciting, but not a good role for Supercoach. Then on the Saints side, I think Max Hall might be potentially a forward keeper. Very, very, very good footballer. Obviously kicked 4 and had 26, which obviously is conducive of a good Supercoach score. But yeah, he was really good. Sinclair just like has the back line to himself. I think this kick-in rate will get better as well. So Nazaya was like trying to... So Tholstrup tagged Nazaya, which I'm a little bit frustrated by because the coach indicated during the week that wouldn't happen. But it did eventuate. Nazaya still kicked 3, had 88. Not a disaster, but probably is going to drop a little bit of cash over the next few weeks as coaches just throw random tags at him like they will with Nick Dacos. It is a learning curve getting over the tags, but as they come, he will get better at them. Flanders, 104. This is just what Flanders is going to do, I think. It's 28 possessions that are sort of junk, but I don't know. He's going to go well. I think McRae's at risk of being dropped as well, so that should help Flanders, who they're very similar players. Windhager was tagging Pickett for a little bit of the game, but it kind of wasn't a hard tag. So if you got him, you're probably reasonably happy with this. So that would be a tick. DeConing just struggled to run the game out. Already spoke about Nas. Is anyone else relevant here? Oh, Carroll. There are some very unhappy Saints supporters with Carroll. He was also sat for pretty much the whole fourth quarter, so I'm a little bit concerned about his job security. But that being said, their VFL side got smacked today, so maybe he holds on for another week. And then Filippo, corked quad, was ruled out of the game pretty much at halftime. I'm not concerned about this, still pretty happy to hold. All right, final game. The Suns versus West Coast. So West Coast were a little bit better than anticipated. So Petrarca kicked 3 in the first quarter, was on like 60 at quarter time. Would have been a nice captain, but it's gone. The 152 Supercoach just looks absolutely fantastic physically. And Witts has had 14 hit-outs to advantage and 20 touches against Flynn. I don't know. Rucks are going to give Flynn hell this year. Like, he's going to be in trouble. So Flynn can't jump and he can't wrestle. So I don't know how long he lasts. Like, it could be Bailey. I think is Bailey Williams still on the list? I don't even know, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing him soon. And then Anderson got like a head knock at the end, so I'm not sure what the status of his HIA is, but that's one to watch during the week. Touk Miller, I still think we'll get as a forward, and he will definitely be a premium. Lombard is the only... I guess Zeke's role is just bad. So I think if you've got him, I'd trade him. Lombard is... he's just a small forward. Had some shocking clangers today, but was pretty exciting. Probably would have liked a little bit more of a fill-up in what should be an easy matchup, but not worried about this. He'll tick along nicely. And then over on the West Coast side, so we've got a 99k and 119k player giving us 110 and 105. I'm going early on Murdoch this week. I'm going to need him, I believe. I'm willing to risk him getting injured. I'm willing to risk him scoring 60s. I really don't care. I just want to get him in this week. Well done if you started him. I had absolutely no read on this. This guy just came from nowhere, in my opinion, so that's why I hadn't considered him at all. So I'll do a little bit of digging, but pretty happy to go there at this stage. Dev Rob, just a tackle bot, had the 12 tackles. Plenty of CBAs, I believe, as well. Yeah, 44%. So, yeah, he was terrific. Got to get this guy on field, I think. Potentially premium? Not sure. McCarthy got some sort of knock. He was going really well at the start of the game, but sort of faded out of the game a little bit. And then I think... we got a couple others. So, Bo Allen, 71. I'm a little bit surprised by that, but he's got 8 contested out of 15 and 100% disposal efficiency. But does have 6 clangers, so... with a good ratio. I don't know how he's scored this, to be honest. I wouldn't be scrambling to get Bo Allen in. He's 150k. We saw what he could dish up last year. I presume he's tackled a fair bit as well. 1 tackle. Okay, interesting. To be honest, I didn't notice him too much. But that's, good score. Good for him. Josh Lindsay, was not getting any usage at all at the start of this game, and then got involved quite a bit in the fourth quarter. I think if we check fantasy points by quarter, that will be reflective. 35 AF in the last quarter. He's their best kick. I was looking at these kick-ins, and every time it wasn't Lindsay taking them, it was a disaster. So hopefully he gets a few more of them going forward. I should mention Harley Reid. 3 frees against. Like, he's an absolute beast. Going to be a weapon of a player. But I think we are still 1 year too early on Harley Reid. And then Newton, if you've got him, I don't know. This is just small forward. He's going to need to kick lots of goals to score. So might be a correction out of him. So yeah, that is the round in review. What are my trades? So I need to get rid of Errol Goulden because I believe he's going to be out for more than 1 to 2 weeks, which was originally reported. So the first player I want to get in is Murdoch. Now, the other problem is I really don't want to carry this cash into next week. So I kind of want to spend it, which means I want to move out a mid-pricer. My issue is I don't like any of the premiums that don't have the buy, and I want to hedge myself into premiums that do not have the buy. My only option, so I have a few options. The one that I'm going to go with is Merritt. I think he looks like he's just a professional. I think he's done this before with Essendon where he sort of indicates he's not happy, just trying to get a pay rise really. I am very, very concerned about Brad Scott and his terrible coaching, moving Zeret around the park at times during the season. He did have the most CBAs in this game for Essendon. He's clearly their best player still. I think they should just play him. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the coach does. So this is the way I'm going to go. The other ones I've looked at, so I looked at Worrell. I just don't think that he's going to be allowed to score this much each week, which he would only probably need to do 105 to be a keeper. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is not the pick. So yeah, I don't think teams are just going to let him chip mark. Like 27 is a lot for Worrell. I know he's getting a few more kick-ins because there's no Keane. It's just a lot of ball for Worrell, who normally sort of gets around. I would suggest the average is about 18 normally. So going to get a bit of uptick. Not for me. Not enough ball. Which is 2 trades. I've used 2 trades, which I'm not happy. The other option that I'm kind of considering is Dawson, who I was hot on before, but I don't know. There's a tag coming up. I just don't want to do it. Whereas Merritt's fixture is quite good. So it's going to be no tag against Port. It's going to be, what have we got next week? We got North. I don't think he's going to get a Finn O'Sullivan tag, but he may. Who knows? Dogs, Melbourne, Gold Coast aren't going to tag him. I doubt Collingwood does because they should win anyway. Brisbane won't. GWS may at this point. Probably. I don't think there's going to be many Zach Merritt tags, basically, which has been the issue with Merritt before. So I'm taking the punt on this. I'm hedging into a premium that does not have the buy because I want to try and make up a few points that I feel like I've lost. So I've put up a calculator. Next week, I want to do Clark, who's 568k, and probably Windsor, who is 283. So I want to do this to Holmes. How much is Holmes? I believe Holmes is 600 on the dot. So Holmes is 600k. Which means I'm 250 short of getting Houston. I might have a problem here. So I really like Holmes. It will give me 4 mid-premiums, but I can go I don't know, Finn, Bont, Richards, Dawson at some other point. Baz. I don't know. I just love the Holmes role. Houston's getting a lot of usage, so I do kind of like that. I think Adelaide is a good matchup for halfbacks, whereas GWS, Brisbane, Freo typically aren't. So maybe I can call the Jets on Houston, who is still at 530k, and instead I can go someone different with Holmes, which it will likely just be Cook. So what may end up happening is next week I'm getting out of Clark. He doesn't call for the ball, doesn't demand kick-ins. Frere's game style is terrible. He's going to average like 95. So I have to get out of this. And the way I'm going to do that, it's going to be Clark and Selwood or Sharp, who I don't think has good job security, to like Cook, presumably, and Holmes. So that is my plan for this week and next week. I hate that I have booked in another trade, but here we are. Let's get some guys on the field. Let's do this. That's fine. Let's get this on the field. All right. So, fielding the full squad this week. Let's not do projecteds. I only got the 4 players out, so that's pretty good. Although 3 good scorers from this week. So, captains, vice captains. What have we got here? So, I've had a Dogs player. I would like this game against Adelaide. Probably would have loved Goulden in this game, but unfortunately, it is not meant to be. I think Petrarca is a very genuine option against Richmond. So, I'm going to chuck the VC on him because he has started like a house on fire. But there are some other really good ones. So I'll probably avoid Sinclair and Whitfield this week. Whitfield just starting a little bit slowly, and Sinclair, not a good matchup for halfbacks. Players in these teams are not captainable. Even Gawn, I think, is not captainable anymore. So I'm avoiding this game. Merritt is interesting here, but I'm like half concerned that Port pull out a random tag to try and, I don't know, to try and win a game, because they were dreadful this week, but Essendon obviously weren't much better. And then the one that I really like is Sheasel. So I'm going to line up like this week. I could obviously go Butters, but I'm just not loving it. I'm just not loving it after this week. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned. So Sheasel should have a very safe floor. Petrarca probably goes big. I obviously have a loop in all of these 4 guys, so I can't loop here, but because can I loop here? No, because they play before. So West Coast plays the last game, so it's likely going to be this that I go with. But yeah, that's the team for this week. Sucks to have to use 2 trades early, but I do have some problems with my on-field scoring. Hoping to make up a few points over the bye rounds, as I have tried to avoid some of these premiums. Really hoping Zach Merritt has a good season. But I am concerned about this, I must admit. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it from me. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.